Sanji. We got Sanji back with us tonight.
It's so good to be here. I think I have been here in a good long while, so it's awesome to be here. I actually just graduated last Sunday from Chinese medicine school. So maybe I'll have more time to come to these wonderful events. And the Big Bang Theory, that's really interesting. My understanding of this is that scientists believe that we come from a singularity. So the Big Bang Theory, which is not really a huge explosion, essentially began from a singularity. And that's up to you to interpret. What is this singularity? Some people say this is God, and others don't personalize it. So just to add a little bit of science to it, for me, the singularity is the oneness. That's expanding, ever expanding into vast areas of space, which we are all part of. So, anywho, I'm going to read something quite personal tonight, a little bit from The Lord of the Rings.
Tell me more about the vast area of space, man. You wrote that?
I did not write this. J.R.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote it, but there's something pertinent in here that I wanted to read to you because it's quite personal to me. The setting is Faramir. Basically, it's in a cave with Faramir, Frodo, and Sam. They're having a conversation. Sam and Frodo are, in fact, captives of the young captain of Gondor named Faramir. If you are familiar with Lord of the Rings, Faramir is the brother of Boromir. And they're great warriors, right? And so the reason I chose this particular passage has to do with the power of humility to overcome delusions of grandeur, right? And so the ring of power tends to represent, absolute power corrupting, or more personally, it represents the ego, which is vicious, suspicious, always on the defense, and can lead to delusions of grandeur if untamed. So tame your egos.
Yep.
Through humility. So let's turn your books to page 664, please. And maybe next time I'll read it, I'll actually write a poem. I haven't been in a writing poem mood, but part of this delivery will be the story. So as I said, the setting is in a cave with young knights of Gondor, young Captain Faramir, Sam and Frodo as their guests/captives. And then Sam begins this dialogue here. He says, "The Lady of Lorien, Galadriel," said Sam. "You should see her. Indeed, you should, sir. I'm only a hobbit, and gardening's my job at home, sir, if you understand me. And I'm not much good at poetry, not making it. A bit of comic rhyme, perhaps, now and again, but not real poetry. So I can't tell you what I mean. It ought to be sung. You'd have to get Strider, Aragorn, that is, or old Mr. Bilbo for that. But I wish I could make a song about her. Beautiful she is, sir. Lovely. Sometimes like a great tree in flower. Sometimes like a white daffodil, small and slender, hard as diamond, soft as moonlight, warm as sunlight, cold as frost and stars, proud and far off as Snow Mountain, and as merry as any lass I ever did see, with daisies in her hair in springtime. That's a lot of nonsense, and all wide my mark." "Then she must be lovely indeed," said Faramir. "Perilously fair." "I don't know about perilous," said Sam. "It strikes me that folk takes their peril with them into Lorien, and finds it there because they've brought it. But perhaps you could call her perilous, because she's so strong in herself. You could dash yourself to pieces. You could dash yourself to pieces on her, like a ship on a rock, or drown yourself, like a hobbit in a river. But neither rock nor river would be to blame. Now, Boromir. No, you stopped. Went red in the face. Yes. Now, Boromir, you would say, said Faramir. What would you say? He took his sparrow with him. Yes, sir, begging your pardon, and a fine man was your brother, Boromir, if I may say so. But you've been warm on the scent all along. Now I watched Boromir and listened to him from Rivendell all down the road, looking after my master, as you'd understand, and not meaning any harm to Boromir. And it's my opinion that in Lorien he first saw clearly what I guessed sooner, what he wanted. From the moment he saw it, he wanted the enemy's ring. Sam! Said Frodo, aghast. He had fallen deep into his own thoughts for a while, and came out of them suddenly and too late. Save me, said Sam, turning white, and then flushing scarlet. There I go again. Whenever you open your big mouth, you put your foot in it, the gaffer used to tell me, and right enough. Dear, oh dear. Now look here, sir, he turned, facing up to Faramir with all the courage that he could muster. Don't you go taking advantage of my master because his servants know better than a fool. You've spoken very handsome all along, put me off my guard, talking of elves and all, but handsome is as handsome does, we say. Now's your chance to show your quality. So it seems, said Faramir, slowly and very softly with a strange smile. So what is your answer to all the riddles? So that is the answer to all the riddles. The one ring that was thought to have perished from the world. And Boromir tried to take it by force. And you escaped and ran all the way to me. And here in the wild I have you, 2 halflings and a host of men at my call. And the ring of rings. A pretty stroke of fortune. A chance for Faramir, captain of Gondor, to show his quality. Ha! He stood up very tall and stern, his grey eyes glinting. Frodo and Sam sprang from their stools and set themselves side by side, with their backs to the wall, fumbling for their sword hilts. There was a silence. All the men in the cave stopped talking and looked towards them in wonder. But Faramir sat down again in his chair and began to laugh quietly, and then suddenly became grave again. Alas for Boromir, it was too sore a trial, he said. How you have increased my sorrow, you 2 strange wanderers from a far country, bearing the peril of men, but you are less judges of men than I of halflings. We are truth-seekers, we men of Gondor. We boast seldom, and then perform or die in the attempt. Not if I found it on the highway would I take it, I say. Even if I were such a man as to desire this thing, and even though I knew not clearly what this thing was when I spoke, still I should take those words as a vow and be held by them. But I am not such a man, for I am wise enough to know that there are some perils from which a man must flee. Sit at peace and be comforted, Samwise. If you seem to have stumbled, think that it was fated to be so. Your heart is shrewd as well as faithful, and saw clearer than your eyes. For strange though it may be, it was safe to declare this thing to me. It may even help your master. It may even help the master you love. It shall turn to his good, if it is in my power. So be comforted, but do not even name this thing again aloud. Once is enough. Now, as everything cools down, and people preparing for bed, Sam hesitated for a moment, then bowing very low, "Good night, Captain, my lord," he said. "You took the chance, sir." "Did I, sir?" said Faramir. "Yes, sir, and showed your quality the very highest." Faramir smiled. "A pert servant, Master Samwise, but nay, the praise of the praiseworthy is above all rewards. Yet there was naught in this to praise. I had no law or desire to do other than I have done." "Well, sir," said Sam, "you said my master had an elvish air, and that was good and true. But I can say this, you have an air too, sir, that reminds me of Gandalf, of wizards." "Maybe," said Faramir. "Maybe you discern from far away the air of Numenor. Good night."
Nah!